Hello. Good Thursday evening to all of you who are sharing your time with us tonight in this episode of Real Living in Highland Park. And by the way, Highland Park, Illinois, just to be a little specific. With me tonight is my friend and real estate consultant in Highland Park. That's why we're titling this. Is Mr. Scott Rose. Scott, share with us a quick hello.
Bill, hello, and thank you for including me on this streaming. Real Living in Highland Park. I'm real excited to share some tidbits with everybody, and I think they'll find it very informative.
Let's rock and roll. So, because I know you are the man with data, and also with your business situated in Highland Park. Let's start off with what I always kind of ask you about when we catch up with each other, which is, Scott, what's going on in Highland Park? So you want to start us off with maybe a current trends and a market update?
I sure would. I've been in the real estate business for 20 years, and out of those 20 years, 7 of those have been in Highland Park at the Baird & Warner office. And things are very interesting these days, obviously. Everybody says, what's happening? And every market is local. So let me share some fun numbers in Highland Park. When I was looking at current availability, there are probably, and this is single family homes, there's 42 single family homes currently available in Highland Park. And in the last 30 days, 49 single family homes have sold.
Wow.
So what that tells us is there's a 1 month supply, making it an extreme seller's market. There's very low inventory, but there are still buyers out there, and houses are being sold. Average days on market, 42 days. So that's very short, and that's been coming down for the last year. So it's a very quick one, and if a house is properly marketed, priced, and in good condition, it goes very, very quick. So the lowest price home in Highland Park, you'll like this one.
Please share.
$200,000.
Say that again.
In the last 12 months, the lowest price home in Highland Park, $225,000.
OMG. You're kidding me.
And the highest one.
What's the highest?
All right, buckle in.
Uh-oh.
3.999 million. So as you can see, there's a wide range of homes in Highland Park, a little bit of something for everybody. And obviously the lake is a big draw.
Of course.
We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Yeah. But I found that pretty interesting. So Highland Park's a great place to be. There's just tons of things to do there. I'm going to share with you some of what I found out. Bill, I don't know if you have a scripted thing, but I've got notes and I've got experiences there, and I'll just get right into it.
Let's go. We're going to follow you.
When people think of Highland Park, one of the first things they think about is the Ravinia Festival. And the Ravinia Festival has been around for years. It's a very popular venue for people to go enjoy music of all types. Now, Bill, you and I have probably unique tastes in music, but I just wanted to share some of the names that are coming this year to Ravinia. Yeah. We have Chicago, Santana, Neo. We've got the Chicago Philharmonic Orchestra. We've got John Fogerty, Boss Gags. He's been around for a little bit.
Yeah.
And John Legend, who many of you know. How about Jethro Tull for the older folks? Jethro Tull is coming, along with Kenny Loggins and Carrie Underwood. Should be ready.
Yay.
She's going to be there 2 nights in August. So people come up from the city. You know, you can hear the music from blocks around there, and it's a great time. We've been there several times, and it's a very enjoyable evening. But that's not the only thing in Highland Park. In addition to Ravinia, You have the Chicago Botanic Gardens. Now, the Chicago Botanic Gardens is technically in Glencoe, right next door,
Right.
but it's 385 acres of trails, of flowers. A lot of people walk it, a lot of people bicycle it, and it's a great way to spend a weekend afternoon. The Chicago Botanical Gardens. So let's talk about restaurants. You know, whether you're a gourmet or whether you just want something quick to eat, lots of great restaurants. For breakfast, of course, you have Walker Brothers, you have Country Kitchen, which are very popular. Then you have things like Norton's Bar and Grill. You have Sushi Badaya, which has become one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Nice quick lunch. And for dinner, Bluegrass is
Yeah.
a nice. So they're not all chain restaurants; they're unique restaurants, and certainly, you know, the culinary people. If you don't want to go to Highwood, just north of there, there's a lot of great restaurants in Highland Park.
Yeah.
There's also Madame Zuzu's.
Oh,
If you like to just grab a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, Madame Zuzu's is right there. They have events there too. They have concerts there.
is that right? I haven't been there.
I
Okay.
think the guy from Smashing Pumpkins, I forget his name, but he owns that. So there's a
Got
little
it.
celebrity behind that.
Yeah.
And then of course you have Once Upon a Bagel. So if you
Yeah.
need something really quick for lunch, that's a great place to pop in. A lot of great restaurants. I'm just touching the tip of the iceberg. So you know, you can find out a lot more. So what happens
Uh-oh.
when you're not eating? Well, the spring and summer's coming upon us, and Highland Park is a great place to go to the beach.
Yeah.
In fact, there's four of them. There's four
Wow.
beaches. There's Millard Park.
Okay.
There's Moraine Park. Moraine Park is a dog park. So if you want to go down, walk by the beach with your dog, they limit you to two dogs. So I know you have three, Bill.
I'm out of there. Right. No, don't bounce me out of there.
And it's a great place to take your dog, have them play in the water. It's not a swimming beach, but
Got it.
dogs are welcome. And then you have Park Avenue Beach, and if
Ooh.
you like to sail, that's the place to go. Once again, it's not a swimming beach, but you
Yeah.
can go down there and sail Hobie Cats and Sunfish, and I think they have a sailing club down there. So it's a really fun place to go. And then of course there's Rosewood Beach, and Rosewood Beach is the only swimming beach, but it's
Mhm.
very popular, and especially when it's 80, 90 degrees, it's the place to be in Highland Park.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's it for the beaches. There's also a lot of other things, tennis and pickleball. You know, Bill, we're becoming a big fan of pickleball.
Right on.
Actually, this is one I discovered today. Somebody told me about a tennis club called Deer Creek Racket Club,
Okay.
and I went there today just to find out what it was all about. And it's a really nice tennis club, but they also have pickleball on a couple courts. So and there's a couple other places that you can play pickleball as well. So
Yeah.
lots of things to do on the outside. And then finally, uh, if you're an artiste, you can either create your own art at the Highland Park Art Center, or the art fair comes every year to Port Clinton. And this year it's going to be on August 25th and 26th. And I've been to it. There's a lot of great art down there. If you like to just look, or if you want to buy,
Yeah.
it's all there for you. And
Yeah.
don't forget about Food Truck Thursdays. Food Truck Thursdays is where they
Uh-oh. I haven't heard
come
about
to
that. Okay.
Deer Park, and they line them up. So everything from tacos to barbecue to you name it. It's a fun time. They usually have some music there, and then finally, if you just want to find out more about Highland Park, there's the Highland Park Historical Society Museum
Mm-hmm.
that you can find out all about Highland Park. But Highland Park's a great city, great downtown, lots of boutique shops down there. Port Clinton is a great place just to hang out on a nice day. Of course, our
Yeah.
office is right across the street from Port Clinton. So stop in and see us. I'd love to say hello to the folks, and certainly if I can ever be a real estate resource to any people out there, love to help.
Right on, Scott.
Did I
And
cover it all?
and with your naming all of those food choices, audience, all of you watching, was that intentional by Scott? Probably, because we're dropping this live stream, sharing this information with you right at dinner time.
Some of you
now
you have a lot of choices.
Absolutely, the more choices, the better. And also, for all of you watching who may be very familiar with Highland Park, because either you live there, either you want to live there, or you have friends that live there, like I do. Please share this information with maybe someone that you know who may be relocating to Chicago, and specifically they're wanting to live along the North Shore, and therefore specifically Highland Park. Now, that said, Scott, I know this, and I think you know this. Those suburbs that are on the commuter rail lines usually perform very well in terms of like real estate appreciation and so forth, right?
Right.
Yeah. And so have you, I'm going to put you on the spot and ask this question. Have you taken the Metro train line from Highland Park to downtown? And if you have, care to share with us how long it takes?
Ooh, that's a good question. Because I drive everywhere,
You drive? Okay, there you go.
I never know where I need to be. So I generally drive. I think it's probably about 35 minutes. Yeah. Don't hold me to that, but I think it's about 45 minutes. Very convenient. Yeah. But there are stops in Lake Forest and Highland Park and Glencoe and Wilmette and Winnetka, all up and down the North Shore. And a lot of people use that who work downtown. Yeah. As a matter of fact, since we're talking about the commuter rail line, can I share with you my secret when I come into Highland Park for one of those Ravinia concerts? Do you know what I do? Here's what I do. I drive into one of those other suburbs, Wilmette, Winnetka. I park at the commuter lot, and then I catch the Metro train into Ravinia Festival. That way it's like easy in, easy out. What do you think about that? Well, actually, that's the way to do it, because the traffic is unbelievable. Right on. And Bill, I have another secret. What's another secret? I don't know if everybody can take advantage of this, but years ago I found out that if you have a motorcycle, you can drive right up to the front gate. They open the gate. You pull in and park right by the front entrance. Wow! And I know I get really spoiled. But what you said is really key, because the stop is right there at the Ravinia Festival. True. So whether you're coming from downtown or any of those other spots along the North Shore, that's the way to do it. Yeah. Because you and I quick out. Right. You and I both know when the music concert, whatever the venue is, if it's a big enough draw, by the time it ends, right, it can be a slow crawl to go home. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Whether you take the train in or take your motorcycle in, or even another good option is if you have friends that live in Highland Park near Ravinia, you can sit in their backyard and listen to the music. Right. That's another way to approach that's very popular. I don't have those friends yet, but you know what? Audience members, I don't have that friend that Scott Rose just mentioned. If you would be so kind, if you are that property owner, to drop a like of this video, drop a comment. I would love to be your friend. Now, having said that, bring it back to the business that you're in and that I'm kind of in, which is real estate. Would you say, Scott, those real estate properties that are very, very close to Ravinia, they do command a much higher price point
Would you say that to be correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's a premium to be either on the lake
Yep.
or by Ravinia.
Yep.
Um, I would say those are very popular, and there's very high demand. The market these days, Bill, is very interesting. Um, the Actually, just last Friday, I had a client a little further north, and the property had just come. It didn't even come on the market. It came into what we call the private listing network.
Okay.
And it came in there on Friday. They didn't want to put it on the MLS. They didn't want, the whole world to know about it.
Of
But
course.
evidently some people found out about it because there were 17 showings Saturday and Sunday,
Oh wow.
7 offers,
Wow.
and it sold Sunday night.
Wow. Amazing.
So you got to be on top of your ball. You got to be pre-approved with a lender like Bill, somebody who's very competent, and you have to have all your ducks in a row when you go in and you find that perfect home. Make
Yep.
sure you're pre-approved first, and
Yep.
then you can contact me. We can go out and search for the perfect home for you.
Yeah. And when you may be selling a home in Highland Park or otherwise outside, right? Just to keep it kind of big picture. Back in your world, it's all about the strategy of pricing it correctly, marketing, and then the creation of that outstanding experience to get it done, right?
Right, absolutely. And
Yeah.
Bill, it's a matter of supply and demand,
Yeah.
and with limited inventory, many times, you will be in a multiple offer situation, and once it goes above the list price, it's kind of anybody's guess as to, do I bid 1,000, 10,000, $50,000 more than the list price? And
Right.
I've heard those numbers go. Um, but you have to have all the other ducks in a row. So make sure that you get it with a knowledgeable lender and a knowledgeable realtor with the experience to handle those kind of situations.
Yep. Yep. And Scott, you've heard me say this whenever we catch up with each other for just saying hello. And sometimes we catch up with each other to talk some business. You've heard me say this: real estate is a team sport. And by the way, all of you watching, real estate is a team sport. You've got to make sure you've got to have the right people on your team helping you get from point A to point B, wherever that might be, whenever that might be. So, as we wrap up tonight's episode, Scott, Real Living in Highland Park, I'm going to drop this question in front of you. In your opinion, of all of the concerts this season in Ravinia Music Festival, in your opinion, which concert venue, which one do you think will draw the biggest crowd?
Boy, that's a good one. That's a good one. It goes back to personal choice as far as what music you like. I
Right.
think I think Carrie Underwood is going to knock it out of the park. Like in years past, they've had Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga,
Yes.
and I've gone and seen Gladys Knight and the Pips,
Yeah.
and a couple others, and it's always a full house there. But
Yeah.
I think Carrie Underwood's going to be excellent.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what, Scott? I agree with you because my wife, through her business and the relationships that she was able to score tickets early on to Ravinia once the schedule is published. And she told me, guess what we're gonna do this season at Ravinia? I'm like, which one'd you pick? Carrie Underwood is one of them. So you know what that means for us. It's gonna be a late night.
Just make sure you don't go on Tuesday night when you have your Real Living series.
Oh yeah, I may have to get some of my team members the following day to pinch hit for me to cover me so that I can recruit from the late night and getting home kind of late. So audience members, Scott and I throw that same question to you. In your opinion, which concert will draw the biggest crowd. If you disagree with us, fine. Drop your comment into this episode of Real Living in Highland Park. We'll be entertained together as to what your taste in music might be like compared to ours, and we'll compare notes. And so as we wrap up tonight's episode of Real Living in Highland Park, for all of you who are sharing your time with us tonight on a Tuesday evening, and by the way, today is still a lovely day, even though we had crazy weather yesterday. Please don't forget to share with us your feedback from your watching these episodes of information that we're sharing back with you. And stay tuned for the next video that Scott and I will show our mugs and always try to give you some information of value along the way, whether it be dinner time, usually is. We'll tease you with food choices. And of course, try to entertain you just for a few minutes of your precious day. And as we wrap up, should you need to engage either one of us because of your journey to move to your next chapter, which might be selling and or buying real estate, simply engage us for a conversation. We've made it simple here for you. Just simply scan the QR code. And Scott, as we wrap up, say hello to your lovely wife for me until I see you again very soon in the next episode.
I sure will, Bill. And thanks again for having me tonight.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. We'll talk soon.
All right. Take care.